Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and I have for you today another review of a new custom figure. This is the third time I've made a Scarlet Spider figure, see if I can say that. And this is probably my favorite one so far, which only makes sense. He's got a few new details like in the belt and the way I made the hoods. He's got the one hood that's down on his back right now, and then he's got the up hood right there. And this time, instead of having this head only, which is similar to the one I made the first time, my original version, I made this one, and I made one similar to my second version. These are both sculpted completely from scratch, and they have magnets inside, as you can see, and I put a screw in for the neck post, which allows the heads to easily swap on and off. Full range of motion. You see right there, no problem swapping them. They're very strong. They hold like 3 pounds each, so shouldn't have any trouble with that. We'll leave this one on for now. And of course, since I have interchangeable hoods, they also swap via magnets. I have a magnet right there in his back. I know it's kind of ugly, but since there's always going to be a hood on there, it doesn't really matter. And it's ugly because of the magnets rubbing anyway. So the hoods snap on right there with that magnet. You have the down hood, or you can put on the up hood, which I'm not going to bother putting a head in right now because I don't really feel like getting it in there. Oh, what the heck, I'll show you. So you put the head in. You have to put the head in first, otherwise it won't fit. Put the head in, make sure it's all the way up and in there, recessed in the hood. And then you can put the hood on the figure. So there you go, there's the up hood. I prefer the down hood personally, just because it gives the figure a lot more posability. And if you'll look, I sculpted the heads so that they can look almost completely up and pretty much almost completely down. So they have full range of motion in the head. Let's put a hood on, that would help. So full range of motion in the head, full range of motion in the shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, wrist rotation, wrist pivot, and then a hand pivot also, or hinge, whatever you want to call that. He still has his ab crunch, fully functioning. Of course, for Spider-Man you need as much articulation as possible, and that's one of the reasons I love this face-off Daredevil body. It's got super great articulation. There's a waist twist, full T-jointed hips, ball joint, ball disc joint, thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He's got the shin rotation, which I usually don't leave, but I figured for Spidey we might as well leave it. Ankle pivot, toe hinge, and an ankle rocker, a great ankle rocker at that. So full range of motion on this guy, just about as much as you can have. I rebuilt the right hand so that instead of it just had an open hand or a closed fist, it's got the Spidey fingers, whatever you call that, the thwip hand. Still has a full range of motion otherwise. So that's in there. Oh, I didn't tell you the height yet. It is about 6.5 inches tall, so standard Marvel Legends height. Painted completely by hand. Did some dry brushing for the red to give it a nice textured look, give him a kind of a more gritty feel to him. I used 2 different shades of blue for the hoodie to give him more of a cloth look, cloth feel. I painted the spider by hand. I drew it with pencil first this time, and then I did it by hand. And didn't do that on the other ones, but it seems like about the same outcome, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But that's about it as far as the figure goes. Oh, the belt. Sculpted a little bit of details on there. This is actually one of the rings from one of the Black Widow belts. I don't know which version, probably one of the older ones, but there's that. Oh, I sculpted the straps on the ankles here and added the pouches. These wrist things, the web shooters, if that's what they are, I'm not positive since I'm not super familiar with this Spider-Man comic, but these things are actually made from face-off Punisher belts that I trimmed up and cut. So that was nice. The hoods are made out of kneaded tight brown stuff. The rest of the sculpting, and I filled in a lot of the musculature on the torso. I did that with the Avs epoxy sculpt. The heads were made out of Avs, and I used some of the Avs on the hoods just to fill in some little details. I left the peg hole in his back so that you can get him in his high-flying poses. If you'll look at my website or my Facebook or procustomizers.com or what's it called, Figure Realm, you can see lots of pictures of this guy in all different poses, and that way you don't have to just guess what it looks like in some nice poses. I like to make sure my customs are very posable, and obviously this is just a real quick pose, but I also made, I'm working up to it, made a web line for him, so you can use that as part of your display however you want to. Not you, since you guys aren't the ones buying it, but the customer. Or if I ever do one of these for you guys, you'll get one of these, so you could have him holding it. Obviously you have to connect the web line to something, but you can have him holding it in that hand or whipping it out of that hand. Do whatever you want with it. It's real easy to make these. Just use the twist ties that come with figures. Transformers make the best because they have extra long ones, although most of them have the rope now, unfortunately. And then I like to use, instead of just using the twist ties, some very fine gauge wire as the main bit of it to give it some thickness. So there's that. It is bendable. It won't hold every shape, but it does hold enough. And if you spend enough time with it, you can get it to do whatever you want. So there's that. He's got the stand, the two interchangeable heads, the interchangeable hoods, and all the other stuff that I mentioned. So, excuse me, there's my third version of Scarlet Spider. Probably my best, and hopefully not my last. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. There he is. Let me put the other head on. I think I like the other head better. Just personal preference. I know neither of them are technically comic accurate, but I like this one better. So there he is, Scarlet Spider V3, technically speaking. Pretty cool figure in my opinion. I'd like to own it, but I don't get the luxury of owning this guy. Gotta send him out. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and stay tuned for some more videos. I'm going to try to get at least one more custom done before Comic-Con, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully I'll get some reviews done too, so stay tuned for those. And in the meantime, keep collecting.